guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Alexander, as you know that already, and I have missed our little tea. Otherwise, our little sit down and talk, like one of these. As I said before, thanks for visiting my channel. Please do take the time out to subscribe to my channel. And if you like any content you see on my channel, feel free to drop me a comment down in the comment bar, or you can email me. All of that information is down in the description. Right, I have taken a break off from contents, but I'm back now, guys. And the first thing I wanted to say, shout out to that guy that asked me how to clean that ant miner. First of all, to clean the ant miner, you need to get a hairspray. Second thing, you need to get electronic. Remember, electronic solution to clean off those boards, clean nice and completely. With that said, while I was away, I take the time out to go through some of my footage and some of my whole video. And the reason for that, I wanted to go back to lead acid battery because I have some lying down around the place which I wanted to use because my hand miner is currently running down those expensive batteries. And lead battery are more cheaper here in my country. It's much easier for me to buy a lead acid battery to run the hand miner. While you know what, I have two set of battery running on the hand miner, and they're all gel battery. Being on the constant running 24 hours a day, switching between battery, they're destroying those batteries. So I wanted to go back to the lead acid battery, but then I remember I did a video on hydrometer specifically for lead acid battery. For young people who don't know about lead acid battery, because you guys have these battery that nowadays can even connect to your phone, you don't know about lead acid battery, but lead acid batteries are around for hundreds of years and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. So I went back to one of my whole videos to look on how to use that hydrometer. So for those of you who do not know what an hydrometer look like, it's something looking like this. An hydrometer is an instrument used to determine specific gravity. It operates on the basis on the Archimedes principle that a solid body displays its own weight in a liquid in which it floats. Hydrometer can be divided in two general classes: liquid heavier than water and water lighter than liquid. An hydrometer is a device that measures the lead acid battery, the acid and the lead inside of a lead acid battery. Now, on that hydrometer, it tells you the specific of how a battery is operating and how long that battery is, or the duration, how would I say, the duration of that battery time. How long can you continue to use that battery and how much strength still left in that lead acid battery. And the hydrometer, it has some diagram that tell you from high to low. So you have the red set, the blue set and the green set. Once those little set show in the red, that means that battery is done. It cannot be charged and it won't stay charged. Some will charge, some will not charge. In the green or in the blue, it means you need to change your battery. For those little diagram to show you anything, you have to stick the hydrometer into the acid. Then the hydrometer read what the acid is telling the hydrometer, and so you get all of those on that little digit. Now, not to stray too far from the story, when I went back to check out that video, the video was a good video, but was lost in translation because the quality of that video, or what I said, audio quality was not there. And I said to myself, is this the way that I put this video on YouTube? So I want to apologize to all the people who watched that video and didn't get the gist of what the hydrometer was doing. As you can see, I show you the hydrometer in normal distilled water and it did not read. The reason for that, the lead inside the hydrometer will not read normal distilled water. The water would have to go inside the battery for it to be a lead acid battery or lead acid, put it that way. It is normal water, so we say distilled water is normal water that you can also drink, but the battery, inside the battery, it have lead. So when you combine distill and lead together, you get acid. And that's the only way the hydrometer will read what the battery, or I would say that's the only way the hydrometer will diagnose what the battery have been going through. If you don't understand anything about this, you can always email me or leave a comment down in the description below, and I will go further in that. Now, with all that information, let's see if I could quickly run back that video and explain to you in a short version of what was going on in that video. Let's go. So now, if you notice on the hydrometer inside that whole glass housing, there is a little magnet, or a little, it's more like a lead, it's a lead, and that is the lead that get contact with the acid and distilled water to give you that complete reading. So that was a distilled water that I've thrown out in the glass. You can see it completely clear, no contamination of anything at all should be in your distilled water. Remember that your distilled water should have no containment of any form of thing. So before you throw distilled water in your battery, it must be clean. If that, you will damage the sulfate plates in the battery. Also, if you happen to buy one of these hydrometer, I know they have some more fancy one more than these, but I like old school, and this is an old school one. If you happen to buy one of these old school, remember to make sure that the lead inside that hydrometer is freely moving. That was the reason why I'm testing the hydrometer with only the distilled water. It should not read anything at all on the hydrometer once you put it in the distilled water by itself, just like this. So notice when the hydrometer in the distilled water by itself, it did not read anything at all. As you can see, the digits on the hydrometer are from weak, fair to good. You notice it still was at weak because it cannot read normal water. As I said, distilled water is normal water, or I would say it's unfiltered water that's not having a process in it. So this water does not have any chlorine or anything. Now you have seen how the hydrometer work outside of the battery spectrum. Let's go to another clipping of a video where I actually using the hydrometer in testing a battery to see how well that battery operate and how well that battery still have any life or any use, or can it still hold any charge, put it that way then. So look at this clip. These batteries are 6 volt Trojan batteries. They are 200 amp batteries. They're probably, at the time of testing those batteries was 3 years old, but they were heavy use of those batteries and they did not use in the proper way. A lead acid battery should not draw down 50% of its capacity. Badly used because they have been drawing down too far and they are not charging up back properly. So if you notice on the hydrometer, it said fair. I'll show you again that clip that the hydrometer showed that the battery are fair. Fair doesn't mean that the battery is good. It will charge, but it will not hold the charge. So if that battery running 200 amp, are you literally pulling 200 amp from that battery, it will suck down whoops quick in a hurry. By right, if that battery had been properly maintained and properly used, and you try to draw 200 amp from that battery, it would probably give you a good hour and a half. I'm going to test all of those batteries in that rack and show you that they give off or they measure different capacity. Fair, good, weak does not mean they're all good. And even though it's a good, it means that that cell at that particular time is good, but there's bad cell. This is why the hydrometer come in play. There's always a bad cell in a battery that's not working properly. And the only way you're going to know that is when you charge the battery to the full capacity and leave it to rest 24 hours, then go back and test that with you and see if you're getting 6 volts or rather 12 volts, any battery at all. After charging up at full capacity, then let it rest for 24 hours, then go back and check it and see if that battery drop more than 6 volts. there's a dead cell, and something's definitely wrong with that battery. This is where the hydrometer comes in. So you test all the cell and see which one is bad. Feel free to drop me a comment, ask me a question about this battery or any one of these batteries. As I said, this was a whole of video, but I realized some of these videos have poor quality while I'm going back over these stuff. And if you like any of my content, please reach out to me in any form of media way. Comments, social media, they're all there in the description. Remember guys, remember to subscribe, like, keep watching. I am Alexander.